Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Global Impact on TCNTV.com. I'm David McQuell. Really glad and excited to have you back again on air tonight for another exciting edition on the great subject that we are talking about, which is the making of an adult. Of course, yesterday we laid the foundation, and today we're going to go on with that, the making of an adult, what it goes into. What it takes to make an adult, and because we have many people who are grown in age, but they are still toddlers or children in their way of life and way of thinking, and so they are so dependent on everybody and can't live by themselves, So, all right. So tonight you are welcome back. I'm really grateful and glad. How are you doing? How is the weather where you are, and how are the challenges of life, and how are you faring? Hopefully that God is on your side and you are making progress in your life. Really excited on Global Impact to have you here again today. As always, thank you for those of you that are watching on YouTube. Please kindly like and subscribe our channel. Like the show and subscribe the channel, and it will really do us good, so that every time we're on air, you will be reminded of what we're doing. Thank you so very much. I pray that God be with you. I'm really concerned about the persecution of Christians. A lot of Christians around the world, in Nigeria, in Kenya, Uganda recently, Burkina Faso, that's in Africa, and in the Middle East, of course, all over the Middle East, including Pakistan, India, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. Everywhere there is persecution of Christians. In Europe, surprisingly, there's a rise in the persecution of Christians and the Muslim of preaching of the gospel. And same thing with the United States of America. So much hatred from the left and from the young leftist woke deceived teenagers, young people who are completely hating Christianity. You have that in Canada as well. So we are praying for Christians all over the world who are passing through persecution, hoping that God will work in their lives and bring them love and freedom and great change. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I will be right back in just a minute.
Global Impact with David McQuell, your host. Isaiah chapter 2 verses 1 to 5 says that a time is coming when the church will rise in authority and influence and dominate the earth. And many nations will come and say, "Teach us the ways of the Lord." Global Impact is a show that inspires you as a Christian to rise up through the values of the kingdom of God and shine as light wherever you may be. We believe that missions is no longer limited to some isolated, unreached community in some dark continent. The church should reach out to all aspects of life, including politics, business, science and research, the media and diplomacy, and every aspect of human life. Join us on Global Impact, Monday through Friday. Global Impact is broadcast on TECNTV.com. Join us.
Welcome back. Thank you so very much for that, and we are really glad to have you. Yesterday we started talking about the making of an adult. In fact, once a child is born, the biggest pursuit and the effort by everybody, both the family and society, is towards making that child an adult. Of course, naturally, the child eats and grows, but age alone is not enough for one to be an adult. Traditionally, age is the basis for adulthood. However, it takes more than just age to become an adult, because there are other things that are involved. Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, where we read yesterday, we looked at verse 11. It says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child, which means my way of reasoning was as a child. And I thought as a child. But when I became an adult, or when I became a man, I put away childish things. And that's really incredible. True. That's really true, right? When you are a child, you speak like a child. Children speak without much reasoning. They just say what comes to their mind. Sometimes they speak out of place. And so is a man who is not grown up, who is not an adult, he speaks like a child. Haven't you heard and haven't you seen somewhere, sometimes when somebody speaks, they say, why is he too childish? He's too childish for my liking. He behaves like a child. Haven't you heard people say to someone, grow up? What are they trying to say? They are saying that he's reasoning or talking or expressing himself as a child. So there is a way children speak. There is a way children think. And there is a way children reason. If you don't reason as an adult, I don't care what age, people will say he's thinking like a child. People will say he reasons like a child. And so there is an expectation of an adult, someone who is grown up, someone who gets to a particular age. The Jewish culture celebrates bar mitzvah or bet mitzvah for girls. Bar mitzvah is when a child is become officially recognized as an adult. Surprisingly, in Israel and in the culture of the Jews, it's at the age of 13. When a person grows to the age of 13, they expect him to behave like an adult because he has become an adult. A great ceremony is held. Neighbors are invited. A lot of food is cooked. They eat together, rejoice together, celebrate together. And one key moment of that ceremony is when the child is given the stage. And he is supposed to express his mind on any issue that, any issue that comes to his mind. He's expected to express his mind, say his view, say the way he thinks about it, and it is always, and he's never wrong. He's always applauded because that's your initiation into adulthood. You begin to talk among adults. That's really incredible. I don't think any other culture has that, I also said yesterday regarding to time past, especially in Africa, those days of independence, and even in 18th, 19th century US and Europe, once a person has grown to the age of 15, they're about 14, 15, let's say 15, 16, a lot of expected of him. In many cultures in the past, as young as 10 years old, a young person begins to take on a lot of activity responsibilities, And so we expect a lot from, people that have grown to the age of 15, 16, 17. Even though, by secular terms, a child does not become an adult until he reaches 17 in many countries and 18 in some. However, so we refer to them as a word called teenager. That word teenager does not appear in the Bible. It's not a Bible term. It's actually a meaningless term in the sense that it doesn't connote anything other than age. Teenagers, which means the person has reached the age of 13, 14, 15. So the teenager, it's actually meaningless. The Bible calls them young adults. They are adults. They are young adults. Once they get to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, 19, they are young adults. They are not kids. They are not just merely teenagers by age. They are young adults. There are expectations of adulthood. Again, yesterday, we were just revising yesterday, I also said yesterday that adulthood means maturity or responsibility. I prefer the word responsibility. Responsibility. For someone to be an adult, he must be someone who is responsible, who can take responsibility. Certain responsibilities in life, in society, certain personal responsibilities, and then we are going to be looking at them, through this week. So, I want to run through some things that I said yesterday. One, that all men, all human beings are born and they are born to become adults. As long as they don't become adults, everybody feels that they have not grown. And if they die before they become adults, everybody mourn because they are cut off from their lives. And we believe that the best of a man is in his adulthood. You know, the childhood is full of great potentials, but those potentials only begin to realize themselves when you become an adult. So adulthood is the goal for everyone that is born. We want him to grow and become an adult. And we also know that it's only Jesus that was born to die. Otherwise, everyone, even in that, he became an adult before he died. Again, so yesterday also I said that prenatal and postnatal care just shows us how valuable it is that the medical science, you know, concentrates on making that child right from conception in the womb, growing up to adulthood. Prenatal care really begins to end when the child approaches adulthood. So, a woman is pregnant and the child is monitored whether he's growing healthily, growing to where? Growing to adulthood. The child is born, and then from the day the child is born, goes every month for checkup. They weigh him, they see everything, if he's faring well, because he has to grow and become an adult, you see. And I said also yesterday that every parent wants their kid to become an adult. Absolutely, yeah, that's true. And it is very unusual when someone who is grown up still behaves like a child.